Alright, so this is our program for the Lab 6 final. Our first line of code is going to be our photoelectric sensor. As long as it senses that there's no cube, the Omron robot will start. And our network 2 is our first sensor. As long as it notices that there's a cube there, or something is there, and the Omron is clear, then the motor will start and the conveyor will start moving. For our network 3, we're using that to stop the conveyor belt. So as long as the cube passes in front of it, the motor will stop. And then network 4 is for the UR robot to start. So as long as there is a cube there, then the UR robot will start. For our lab final wiring, this is going to be these terminals are going to be our common ground. These are going to be our positive. These are going to be right here our earth ground, our AC 120 volts negatives, and then our 120 volts positives. Our earth ground is connected through here, and we connect it here for earth ground. And then we use jumper cables to connect to the PLC over here. And then the way we're supplying 24 volts is through the Omron. We connected it, and then we use jumper cables to connect the rest. On the top we have our inputs, and then at the bottom we have our outputs. And then here we have our relay, which we use to switch power to the motor. For our program, these sensors are going to be our inputs, and then the sensor is going to be our output. And we use an Ethernet cable to connect it to our computer so we could upload our program onto the PLC. So the basic functionality of our program is going to be that if there's no cube here detected by the photoelectric sensor, then the Omron is going to start. And as long as this sensor right here detects that there's a cube there and the Omron is clear out of the way, the motor will start. And once it reaches here and it detects that there's nothing, or that there's a cube there, it'll stop the motor. And once this detects that there's actually a cube there, then the UR robot will start. And we placed this to block the cube's path because we were having a problem with it going a little too far out. For our program, we started our UR robot at a release grip, and then it'll move from to our start position, which is there. And then it'll move above the pickup, which is a little bit lower. And then it'll wait for the photoelectric sensor to be high, or to basically detect that there's something there. And then it'll pick it up. It'll drop down to the pickup zone, and then it'll grip it. And then safety clear is so that it doesn't knock the electric sensor over. And then it'll move on to the palletizing mode. We set our 8 corners. We use the box pattern, and we set it so that it would palletize it 3x3x3. So, and then for our pallet sequence, we set our approach corners set to no action, and we wait 1 second in between what's it called? In between placing the blocks. And then it'll release it, wait another second so that it doesn't move the blocks too much, and then it'll exit. And after it's done palletizing, it'll go to its starting point and it'll stop. So this is going to be our Omron program. So we have point 1, which is here, and then it'll wait for there to be no cube, and then which is told by the photoelectric sensor. And then once that's true, then it'll release go to point 3, which is down. It'll grip the cube. If there is no cube, then it'll go back to point 1, which is the starting point, and it'll just stop. If there is something there, then it'll go to point 4, which is to move up. Point 5 and 6 would be to move over here, go down, and then it'll release. And then point 7, it'll go back over. It'll go back up here, and then go back to point 1. And set 1 and set 2 is basically so that we can get the conveyor going. It's basically our no clear in our TIA portal programming. I just found a project of our lab. That robot's gonna, yeah. So as long as there's no cube here, that robot will start. Once that robot starts, it'll place in front of that sensor, and as long as that sensor detects that it's there and the Omron robot isn't there, the conveyor will start, and it'll stop at this second sensor. And we set up a little barrier so that it would be precise every single time, but this photoelectric sensor is what's going to actually start this robot, and then this robot will palletize a 3x3x3 cube. So yeah, there you go, stops it, and then that robot starts. So something we noticed is that sometimes if there was a cube here and the robot was too slow to pick it up, that robot would start 4. So we had to increase the speed.
Oh, okay. So instead of the minus 21, you get it the same. So I turn on this half. 400. Okay. Are you hearing that real bad? Okay. I'm gonna take this.
Yep, and that's our final product. The 3x3x3.